I'm Chalchinsky, and I am from Color Source Gems. I help with the marketing and design and sales in our company. We're a family-owned business.
I'm Moshe Chalchinsky from Color Source Gems, and I do a lot of things, travel, buying the gems, do the pricing, and try to service our customers. I've been in business like about 35 years. Well, I'm in the color stone business. I'm kind of an outsider because it's mostly people and family members they bring, and I came to America, and I from Israel. I went to school and studied marketing, and when I finished college, marketing degrees, I started working in the insurance business, but I used to play soccer with some people in the industry, and one day I came to sell somebody insurance, and he said, leave that, come work for me. And I didn't know anything. He says, green is emerald, blue is sapphire, red is ruby. I drew this, marquee oval round, and I was running on 47th Street, all the buildings up and down, knocking on doors. And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm born into the jewelry industry. I'm fourth generation. My grandfather was in the industry. My grandmother had her own jewelry store in Greenwich Village. Even my mother was in the industry. So I come from a background of all separate businesses, but I would say that gemstones, I guess, flow in my blood.
The trend is, more into affordable gems. The more expensive gems, the big pieces, a little bit harder to move. So right now, let's say I've been to Sri Lanka and Bangkok before. I had a buying trip, and I bought mostly between 1 carat to 5 carat stones. And basically, that's what most people bought in the show from us. And there's a little change, but it's still exciting, stone was always been my passion,
We have some beautiful rhodolite garnets, a really gorgeous grapey purple that a lot of people came by and said, what kind of stone is that? And they didn't even realize that was available. Savarite, spinel. Spinel seems to be very popular. Our son is getting engaged in a couple of weeks, and his intended wanted a gray spinel. And so he was able to source it here because we didn't have it in our inventory, and she wanted a particular shape. So he had to buy a bigger stone, and he has to cut it down for her. So that's really nice. And the fact that she wanted something, out of the diamond box kind of thing, stepping away from that. And I think it's really lovely. My engagement ring from 36 years ago was a beautiful Ceylon sapphire. So even back then, I was thinking outside the box.
But it's about service. Giving the right service, have the relationship, and trust. Mm-hmm. It's also with the suppliers. I always treat my suppliers in the right way because it's nice to have customers, but without good suppliers, it's difficult. It's very important. I will treat my suppliers with respect.
No, but we've had the same suppliers for over 30 years. You build these relationships. You travel, 24 hours one way, and you're tired, and you have to sit in front of the gemstones that they're showing you, and source through them, and want to find the right pieces. The things that that you can sell to your own customers and that you want to add and enhance your own inventory. And like Moshe said, having clean, well-cut, well-defined gemstones is so important, to our jewelry making, you know, because we need to have beautiful, consistent color if we're making, say, a line bracelet, and also, you know, individual gemstones. And you know, it is more challenging now. You know, less available and higher prices, and in turn, then of course, when we would have to charge our customers more if we're paying more. But you know, we work on close margins, and you never want to say no to your customer. I see people expanding their own knowledge, I think, through social media, Instagram, or primarily, in my experience, Instagram. There are big trends, and there are also a lot of all of the you know, Instagram influencers. They also do some education. And you know, by doing the education, the public becomes much more knowledgeable about the gemstones, and it expands people's desire for things that that maybe they weren't even aware of, like spinels and savorites and Malaya garnet. You know, they're all magnificent colors, and they are generally a little bit less expensive. But also, you know, the knowing now there's a new kind of, it's not a new stone, but party sapphires, because they're a little bit off color than the traditional, and there's a big trend towards those, and we've gotten calls for things like that. And you know, it's really nice because it also makes it more interesting for us. Instead of just the, you know, typical blue, green, red, now they're different shades, different nuances, and we really
people want something a little bit different now.
Yeah,
a little out of the box, and makes it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.